Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie. So this video is going to be a pick from my kit, shot my stash, whatever you want to call them. Basically, I'm just going to go over to my makeup drawers. I have just done a big declutter recently, but I'll explain that further when I'm in my drawers. That sounded wrong. Then I have got two new products that I'm using as well in this. Well, one of them is a new product, one of them is a old product, but in a different shade. Again, I will explain shortly, but I'm going to stop talking now and go to my makeup collection. Okay, so I've got two products that are technically not picked from my kit items that I'm going to use in this video. So I've got the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear, which is one of my favourite foundations. However, this is a new shade. This is the shade Pearl, I believe is what it is called. A couple of people in my comment section told me that there was a lighter shade of the L'Oreal Infallible, because the shade I was using before was called 15 Porcelain, I think. Yeah, they told me that there was a light shade and I was really confused. I was like, how have I not known about that there being a lighter shade? Because the porcelain shade is like a tiny bit dark for me, so I do have to put in a little bit of white mixer. So basically I looked on Superdrug and Boots to see if I could find the shade, but it wasn't there. So the only place that I could actually find this shade in the UK, it was on Amazon and eBay. So I got this one off of eBay and I think I paid about £14 for it. I'm pretty sure the L'Oreal Infallible is about $9.99, just in like drugstores. So I had to pay about a £5 more, which I don't really mind that, because in my opinion this is such a good foundation that I know that I like, that I'm happy to spend like an extra £5 to get a shade that might suit me better. But there is quite a lot of listings of it on Amazon and eBay. On the very rare chance that there is a pale person watching this from the UK that wants to find this shade, I will put the link to the seller that I got it from on eBay. But there's loads of different listings of it with like varying sort of prices. It's like, pretty sure I saw one on Amazon for like £24, so this was £14 was the best I could find it for, but as I said, I don't mind. And this actually looks like it's going to be a really good shade, so I'm going to use that for my foundation today. I've not actually used it yet. Then I also got this powder. This is the Maybelline Superstay Full Coverage powder, which again, this isn't available in the UK. I don't know if it ever will come to the UK. But yes, I did get this off of Amazon, and again, obviously I did have to pay a bit more for it than what it would cost if it was in drugstores in the UK. I can't actually remember off the top of my head, but I'll put a link below to where I bought it from and how much it was and stuff. But I'm interested to see what this does. The shade is 102 Fair Porcelain. I did expect it to be a little bit paler, but we'll see what it's like once it's on the face. So everything else now is definitely picked from my kit stuff, shot my stash stuff. So basically this is all of the makeup that I've sort of decluttered. I've been through all of my drawers and basically I've sort of organised things. So for example, this is my highlighter drawer. In this bit here I've got all of just the highlighters that I like and I'm keeping, and then right at the side down here I've got ones that I want to use and pick from my kits, so that I can decide if I want to keep them or not. But basically I was just unsure when I was decluttering if I wanted to keep these or not, so I put them at the side to use and pick from my kits, and I've basically done that with all of my makeup. So I'm going to start with primers, and I've got the ones down here that I want to retry. So I've got about six primers here. I think I might go for the L'Oreal Infallible Magic Essence drops, because I've not used these in some time and I need to see what exactly they do for my skin and if I want to keep these or not. So I've obviously got the foundation already, so I need a concealer now. These are all my concealers, colour correctors, and then I basically put the concealers that I want to retry in this bit here. So there's not loads of them, so when I do get through them all I will just go back to my regular concealers. I think I want to try the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stops, which I tried like right at the start of 2019, but I've not reached for them a lot since. I did find them like a little bit drying. I think that was my issue with them, but I do want to revisit them. I've got like a brightening shade and then just like a matching shade. So the shades I've got are Pale and Fair. Pale is still brightening one, Fair just sort of matches me. So yeah, I'm going to use these two, I think. Okay, so this is my bronzer and my blush drawer. These are all my sort of definite keeping bronzers. I've got a couple contour products down here. This palette has literally just got one Makeup Geek contour shade in it. But it's actually more of a sort of bronzer colour on me. I think the shade's like Warm Porcelain Love Triangle, I think it might be called. I do want to put more in this. All of the bronzers in this basket are ones that I want to retry and decide if I'm going to keep. Some of them I kind of know that I am going to keep, like this Makeup Obsession one, for example. I remember being like a favourite, and there's like a Revolution one under it that I know is really nice as well, but I just put them in here because I've not used them in ages. So some of these I'm not sure if I want to keep, but some of them I definitely know that I do. So what should I go for? I'm going to try this number 7 one. I got this last year, I think. It's just called the number 7 bronzer in Golden Sand is the shade. That's what it looks like. I remember actually really liking this, so I think I probably will end up keeping it, but it's been a long time since I've used it, so we're going to use that one. So all my blushes are back here. I don't think these are organised in any way. I think they're all just kind of ones that I need to retry. Obviously I've already used a couple of these and picked from my kits already, so I need to pick something that I've not already used. Might try this Lavel one. Lavel's like a really cheap brand that you can get off of Amazon. The shade is Damson, just a powder blusher. I feel like it's quite like a sort of rosy, cool toned blush. It looks really pretty. Not used this in like bloody ages, so I'm gonna use that for blush. Okay, so back to the highlight drawer. I need to use something down the side here. I quite like to use this one. So this is actually an eyeshadow from Essence. It's in the shade 01 Snowflake. I think it was Taylor Wynn who recommended this like absolutely ages ago as a highlighter, and I remember it being really nice, but again, not used it in ages, so I think I'm gonna revisit this one as a highlighter. Okay, so this is all of my eyebrow products. Got micro brow pencils there, and all of my gels and miscellaneous in here. So I think I put the ones up here that I wanted to retry, except a couple of these I have already used and picked from my kits. Like I'm pretty sure I've used the Gosh one and the L'Oreal one, but I just put them up here because I felt like I needed to use them again before I would decide if I actually wanted to keep them or not. I think I might use the Belle one today though. I seem to remember actually quite liking it, but I put it up here as a I'm not sure whether I want to keep it sort of product, so I'm gonna give it a go. It's just the Belle Hypoallergenic Brow Modeler Gel. All of my micro brow pencils are here. They're not organised in any way, so I just need to pick something I've not used. I think I'm going to go for my W7 one. This is actually one of my favourite micro brow pencils because it's got such a soft formula. I'm going to go for this one. It's the W7 Stroke of Genius brow pencil in the shade Dark Brown. So for eyeliner in the waterline, I've got like back here the ones that I've kind of either used recently and picked from my kits, or I've just like tried recently in first impressions, and then everything in here is stuff that I want to retry and pick from my kits, so I can basically just go for anything in here. I'm literally just going to close my eyes and pick something out at random. Okay, we have landed on the Lottie London AM 2PM eyeliner. So I've definitely downsized my mascaras a lot. I think all of these products are just things that have moisture left. I got rid of pretty much anything that was dried up. Most of these are either just sort of kind of new in my collection. The only thing that really isn't is these Wet n Wild ones and the Soap and Glory one. Most of these are sort of new product. I won't be picking anything that I've like not used in a while here because I don't really have the option. I might give the Max Factor 2000 calorie curl addict a go, but I think it might be a little bit dry, so I think I might layer something over it. Then I'll layer my Revlon Sophia's mascara over the top of that. Okay, so with liquid liners, I'm pretty sure the only one that I haven't used is the Ico one. So I think I will use the Ico one. I'm pretty sure I haven't used it. I'm not 100% sure. So the eyeshadow palettes that I've got at the side here are ones that I want to retry, as well as this one here, which I think I am going to use, but I've got a Makeup Obsession palette, a Beauty UK palette, and some Revolution Pro ones, so they will be in pick from my kits coming soon because we're in quarantine and we've not got anything else to do. But the one I want to use today is from a brand called Delancey, and it was just like a really cheap brand that I got off of Amazon when I did my testing cheap Amazon makeup videos, and like I never reach for this. So this is what it looks like, right? And I feel like some of these shades kind of look exactly like other shades in the palette. Like I feel like there's just so many browns that look exactly the same and like reds and stuff, but obviously it's quite like a neutral warm colour scheme. I don't really remember much about the quality of this palette, but we're gonna find out today. I've got a feeling I'll probably get rid of this just because of the colour scheme really, and the fact that there's so many shades that look almost identical to each other. And again, I feel like these sort of shades I have in other palettes anyway, but I mean if the quality really impresses me I might keep it, but gonna give this one a go. So I properly downsized all of my lipsticks and lip liners. All of these ones here I want to retry for pick from my kits, got my stashes. I did dust them all, but they're already dusty again, and I only did this a couple weeks ago, so you know, I did try. So because the palette's quite neutral, I think I might try a bold lip, and one that I'm quite interested to give a go is this Maybelline. This is one of the Maybelline Superstay matte inks. I'm pretty sure the shade is called Philosopher, and it's just like a sort of pastel-y, like lilac colour. And then I've got this NYX Soft Matte Metallic Lip Cream, which again is a sort of lilac-y colour. So I feel like those two could look quite nice layered over the top of each other. So I'm going to do a sort of bold lip, I think, with this. And I don't really have a lip liner to match those, so we'll just use those. So this is all the makeup we're going to be using today. So we've got the L'Oreal Infallible Magic Essence Drops, the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear in Pearl, this Can't Stop Won't Stop Concealers in Fair and Pale, the Maybelline Superstay Powder in Fair Porcelain, number 7 Bronzer in Golden Sand, Laval Blusher in Damson, the Essence Eyeshadow for Highlighter, Snowflake, Hypoallergenic Modelling Gel, the W7 Stroke Genius Micro Brow Pencil, Lottie London AM to PM Eyeliner for the waterline, the Ico, That's Where I Draw the Line, I Do Liquid Eyeliner. I've got the Revlon So Fierce Mascara and the Max Factor 2000 Calorie Curler Dip. Going to layer those, and then the Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink Philosopher, I think it's the shade, can't find it written on here. And then the NYX Soft Matte Metallic Lip Cream, the shade of that one is Venice, and the Delancey eyeshadow palette. Okay, it's time to make myself less ugly. Let's do it. Okay, so I'm going to use the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Concealer. I've got Fair. This is just the first one I picked up. It doesn't really matter when I'm doing my eyelids. So yes, I'm going to just use that to prep my eyelids. I think I will do one eye off camera. I'm going to use the Maybelline Superstay Full Coverage Powder and set that down. So I'm going to try and create some look on one eye of this off camera. It's probably going to be something warm and neutral. I'll be back with one eye done. How weird does it look when you've just got one faux eye on and then one that's completely beige eye? Things didn't go completely well, but it's acceptable. So okay, so this palette, very rarely do I say this, but this is just not a good palette. The quality of this is not good. There was a botched attempt at a first eyeshadow look that I had to stop, and then eventually we got this, which isn't fantastic, but literally these were the only shades that I could get to work from this palette. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna get rid of this palette after this video. It's not doing it. The mattes were just not blendable at all. They were just, the sort of blend disappears. This red shade I thought was okay though. That red shade is this one here. See, I tried some of the brighter ones and they just were not blending. They just blended into nothing. So I'm gonna just put that red all over, well, in my crease area. See, this one's actually not that bad. Like, it's quite pigmented and it seemed to blend okay. But like, it was the only shade that did that. And then I tried to use one of the darker brownie reds. I think it was either this one or this one, I don't know. And I tried to deepen it up a bit, but it didn't work very well. But I'm just gonna try and do it anyway, I guess. Like, I just tried to sort of blend it in here, but it just didn't really show up super well. But I feel like I might as well just repeat it for the sake of it. And then I cut the crease. This is very basic. This is just like, wow, these shades didn't work, so I can only use like 3 of them. Really hope during quarantine I could learn how to make symmetrical cut creases, because I just can't do it. So I used this shade here, which is sort of a pinky, kind of rose goldy sort of shimmer shade. And that went in the inner part. Yeah, compared to the other shades in this palette, this isn't bad. I sort of used a mixture of my finger and the brush. And then I used the gold shade here, put that in the rest of the cut crease, and again, It's not too bad, this shade. It shows up. It's decent, but there are much better golds out there, that's for sure, but it's workable. Then I used this sort of champagne-y, shimmery, beigey colour under the brow bone. Yeah, I mean, it's not a particularly amazing creative eyeshadow look. Okay, so now we're moving on to this Eyeshadow eyeliner, and I don't know if you can tell, but it didn't go super smoothly. It's just very dried up. It's just like quite faint. I don't think it's necessarily the eyeliner. I think it's just because it's really old and it's just gotten dry. So it was just very, very hard to get any precision with the wing, but we're just gonna do the best we can. This is not going well. I did on the other eye sort of end up using the Lottie London Kohl pencil to kind of fix it. I mean, it didn't fix it, but it gave it a bit more pigment. Yeah, I'm definitely going to get rid of this Eyeshadow liner. Not gonna lie, this is a bit of a disaster. Might just try smudging it out. Yep, I think that's the best we're gonna get with that. I'm layering up the Max Factor and the Revlon mascara, and you know, we definitely got some lashes, that's for sure. I thought this Max Factor one might be dried up. I feel like when you put the first layer on, it seems like it is, but then as you keep layering it, it goes somewhere. So we're going to move on to the base now. So I'm starting with the L'Oreal Infallible Magic Essence Drops. I don't really remember what these do. I think they just give you like a little bit of dew on the skin. I don't think they have like a sort of highlighty effect, which is more so what I'm into. So I don't know, I'm just not really sure if I'm gonna... I mean, I know I won't dislike it because it's like a primer, and it's just like the only thing a primer can really do wrong is if it balls up on your face or it just makes you too oily or whatever. And I don't feel like it's gonna do that. I'm not sure, but it is very blue. Don't really feel like it's done anything other than give me like a tiny bit of like dew and shine on my face. But that's fine. Like I was worried it would do it like too much and I'd look super oily, but it's a very subtle amount. So I don't actually mind that. Maybe it's very skincare-y, I don't know. Or maybe it's really good at keeping makeup on, but it's fine. It's an adequate primer. I think I'll probably keep it in my collection. Okay, so we're going to try out the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear, which I already know that I love, but obviously new shade 400 Pearl. So yeah, the other shade I've got is this one, 15 Porcelain, and I'm pretty sure this is almost empty now, if not completely empty, but I might just do a little shade comparison, just for the fun of it. Shade Porcelain isn't like massively off, like I only need like a little bit of white mixer with it. So that's a shade Porcelain, like it's close, it's almost the same, it's just a tiny bit dark. So let's just compare Pearl with that. I can tell Pearl has got more of a yellowy undertone as well. Oh yeah, it's definitely lighter, definitely a different sort of undertone, and I definitely feel like that shade is going to suit me way more, definitely. So yes, I'm glad I tried that. Thank you to the people in my comments that told me about this shade because I was not aware of it before. Okay, so we're going to go in with Pearl now and pop this on all over. Yeah, that colour is so much better than the other shade I had. I already knew that I loved this foundation anyway, so nothing new there. Maybe even like a tinsy bit too pale, but that's fine because I think the powder might be a little bit dark. Right, so going back to the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer, so I'm going to put pale just in my eye area to brighten, and then fair just on my nose and around my mouth. I've got a bit of a blemish going on in my mouth at the moment. I just seem to remember these being a bit drying. I don't think they're like, I think they're pretty good coverage, but not as full coverage as some concealers I have, like the e.l.f. But I think they're like decent coverage. Yeah, that concealer's done a really good job at minimising this blemish I've got on my chin. So I'm quite impressed with that. It has got pretty good coverage. I like the shades, maybe a little bit heavy looking. I wouldn't say it's super duper dry. I think it's more so dry when you use it on bare skin. I feel like I feel like the L'Oreal foundations are quite hydrating, sort of semi-matte foundation. So I feel like that's kind of helped it look a bit less dry. Okay, so I've got the Maybelline Superstay powder now. I feel like this might darken things a little bit. I'm not sure, like it's quite light. I don't know actually, maybe it will be pale. I don't know. I never know until it's on my face. Because I remember like the Nabla powder, it looked quite light in the pan. And then I put it on and my face literally just turned completely orange. So you never know what's going to happen with these things. Honestly, I might actually use the sponge, but not for under my eyes, but I might use the sponge on the outer parts of my face. I don't feel like these are as bad as everyone makes out. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and use this powder and just set my whole face with it. I think the powder puff idea was a bad one because it's gone hella patchy on my nose. So I'm going to switch back to a brush. It's okay, I think we've saved it with the brush. I definitely do feel like this powder adds coverage. And I feel like it's quite pore blurring. I like it. Do not apply it with the powder puff, that was a terrible idea. And I don't know why I thought it was a good one. It's quite a nice powder. It's maybe a little bit heavy looking, but I did put a bit too much on. But colour also works well for pale skin. I don't feel like it's darkening my base. So it works with pale skin, which I was a bit worried that it might be too dark, but it absolutely has worked for me. So great. In fact, I still feel like I look a little bit too pale compared to my neck, but that's okay. I can live with being pale. Okay, so I definitely need to put some bronzer on because I am looking a bit too pale up here, so I'm gonna use the number 7 Golden Sand. I remember really liking this when I did get it, but I've just got so many really good bronzers in my collection that I just don't get around to using them all. So I'm just gonna warm up my face with this because it really could use some warming up, that is for sure. Yeah, that's a very nice bronzer. The tone is pretty good for my skin tone. It's blending out fine, it's not too pigmented. It has brought some much needed colour back into my face. So yes, we'll be keeping that bronzer, definitely. So I'm going to use the Essence Eyeshadow in Snowflake as a highlighter now. So I'm just gonna, yeah, it is pigmented. That is for sure. I'm just going to put this all over the usual spots. Yeah, this is definitely only going to work if you've got pale skin because that is a very frosty colour, but very pigmented. Very nice. I use the blush from Laval in Damson and pop a bit of that on my cheeks. I really like the tone of this. It's just like very like rose. Hopefully this doesn't make me look like a clown. Let's put this on. That's really pretty. I like that, and it doesn't come out too harsh, which is very nice and impressive. That's a really nice subtle blush with a really like just nice tone to it. I really like that. I want to use that more. Yeah, all of those cheap products were really nice actually. So we're going to move on to the brows now. So we've got the Belle Brow Modeler Gel. I'm not sure the shade name, but I think it's quite grey. Oh, it's 03 is the shade. It's very grey. There's definitely a lot of excess on that. Yeah, this is very grey. It might be a bit too grey. Like I do like an ashy tone to my brow products, but this might be a bit much. quite a bit of excess on it, but I remember it being quite good once you do get rid of the excess. Let's do it. Okay, the colour might not actually be too bad. Okay, so I was a bit scared of the colour at first, but it actually kind of works perfectly because my natural hair is quite grey toned anyway. It's very like ashy. But it's actually worked well, and I like the effect of it. It's quite natural. My literal only complaint about that is that it's got a bit too much excess, and it's quite a wet formula as well. But I think the actual result of it is good, so I will keep that one. So I'm going to use the W7 Stroke of Genius. I already know that I really like this. This is one of my favourite micro brow pencils because it's just so soft and natural looking. So I'm just going to define my arch a bit more with this. If you want like a really just soft, barely there brow pencil, this is the one. It's super cheap. So I'm going to put some more of that red shade under my lower lash line. I'm going to use the Essence eyeshadow in my inner corner. And I think I'm going to try and smudge a bit of the Lottie London under my lash line as well. And then I'm going to put some more mascara on. My eyes have decided to turn into Niagara Falls. Okay, so we're going to finish off with lips. I'm going to put a little bit of balm on first because I know that this Maybelline liquid lipsticks are a bit of drying. Yeah, it's just a very sort of lavender lilac colour, this liquid lipstick. I don't know. It's going to match the eyes because I was planning on doing something a bit more neutral, but then the neutral shades did not want to work for me, so. See, I don't know whether to let it fully dry before I put on the next one over the top. Yeah, F it, let's just do it now. It's definitely a bit lighter, so I might sort of ombre it. It's a concept. Okay, that should probably dry by the time I sort my hair out, so I'm going to do that. Okay, I'm just going to put a bit of this Glass Glow Fix by Revolution on, because I only literally have like 4 setting sprays anyway, so I can't really do a pick from my kit with that. These two lip products together, they look kind of cute, but they do not feel nice. It just feels very sticky. So this is the finished look. It's interesting. I'm gonna probably take this lipstick straight off after this because I need to eat and I don't want this all over my face, to be honest. It's very sticky feeling. So I'll just say what I'm gonna keep and what I'm gonna delete after this video. I'll probably keep the L'Oreal Infallible Primer. I'm obviously going to keep the L'Oreal Infallible Foundation because I literally just brought that, as well as the Maybelline Powder because I just brought that. I'll keep the NYX concealers, I'll keep the bronzer, I'll keep the blush, and I think I'll keep the highlight. See, I feel like it does fade quite fast. I'm noticing that. So I think what I'll do maybe is like do a day test or something with it, and then if I find that it's not got particularly good longevity, then I probably will get rid of it. But I do like the effect of it. I just think it may not last particularly long, that Essence eyeshadow. I'll keep the eyebrow gel. I'm obviously going to keep the W7 brow pencil because that's one of my favourites. Definitely getting rid of this eyeshadow palette. It's not good. Gonna get rid of the Eyeshadow eyeliner because that was very dry. I think I'll keep the Lottie London one because that is pretty pigmented and quite creamy. Yeah, I've not really got any complaints about the Lottie London one. I think I will keep both the lip products for now, but I'll have to try them out like individually. I don't think they work well together. There's just something going wrong with the texture here. So I feel like most of the products I liked today, but a couple that I didn't. Like the eyeshadow palette was definitely one of the worst eyeshadow palettes I've used. Anyway, I'm probably going to do a pick from my kit again in a couple of days because what else have I got to do? Absolutely nothing. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video. Goodbye.